Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depending on when you're seeing this video, if you're a law student, just listen to me with rapt attention. Maybe you are reading and you're not understanding. You are confused on what you are reading. You are not the first person. You think that probably the syllabus you have, all the topics there, they are extremely cumbersome. You are not the only person. That particular syllabus you are doing, people have done it and they are lawyers now. So it should even motivate you that if in a year they are calling to bar up to like 4,000 to 7,000 people, these 7,000 people, you cannot see that their brain is higher than your own brain. Yes, there must be some people in that 7,000 people that your brain capacity, me, I'm not somebody that believes that everybody's brain capacity is the same. It might be, but I don't believe that. You cannot tell me that the whole 7,000 people that are being called to bar every year, or even up to 10,000, depending on when they also have receipts and all that. You cannot tell me that all of them have more brain capacity than you. So if they are able to pass through the hurdles, you can also pass through the hurdles with very, 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 very sweet results. What am I saying? If you see yourself reading and you don't understand, it is not something that you should beat yourself up for. Keep reading. If you do not understand, you go to a senior colleague. If you do not understand from your senior colleague, you go to your mates. It's possible that when your mates talk about it, you understand it. If you did not understand from your mates, then there is something that somebody taught me. You can open ChatGPT, put in the thing that you do not understand, and you say, explain to me as if I am 6. And I think ChatGPT would explain it to you as though you're 6. And of course, you are supposed to understand that one. If you don't now understand it, then you don't have any hope again. You don't have hope. All right. So that is that about reading what probably you do not understand. Another thing is you must also invest much of your time in attempting past questions. It is one thing to know the principle of law that you people learn in class. It is another thing to know how to put your answers in the exam, and that is what determines whether or not you will graduate. So even if you know all the principles of law on earth and you do not know how to apply those principles of law you know to scenarios, of course you know that most of your exams would come by scenario. Emeka did this one and this one slapped Emeka. Emeka has come to you for you to advise Emeka. That is your exam. So your ability to know the principle of law to apply in that particular scenario is also what makes you a good law student. And also your ability to put it well in your exam booklet also makes you a good student. I've done a video explaining how to answer questions. I'll still do another video refining some of the ways and patterns in order to answer your exam questions with clarity. Yes. Then again, because you're studying law doesn't mean that you should not have a social life. You should also connect with people. It is usually said that your network is determined by your net worth. You might be a successful law student based on the fact that you pass your exams very well, but you being a successful lawyer, apart from the principles of law you know, you also need to know people. You understand? So your connections, of course, in addition to your knowledge of the law, will open doors for you. So don't just say, you are reading alone, only reading, that is what you came to school to do. No. Make friends, make connections, and participate in extracurricular activities. Yeah, the ones that will help you. For example, go into debating society. Go into, do moot court competitions. Go for moot court competitions. Do sports. All these things will help your CV self, because most of the times when you're looking for jobs and they see that, you've gone for moot court competition and you presented Nigeria in South Korea and this one, that one, it might increase your chances of getting the job. And probably you might not even have come out with a first class, but probably you would be considered before the first class person that just only focused on his studies in school. So engage in social activities, extracurricular activities. You are in school to enjoy. You are in school to read, but your reading shouldn't deprive you from enjoyment. Just know when to cut it off. Know how to balance it. Know how to balance your social life and your education life. Of course, there are still people that do business in school. If you can balance it well enough, then there's no problem. You can do your business in school. Another thing is attempting past questions is extremely important, and this also goes to that point I was telling you about, knowing how to answer your questions and not just knowing the principles of law. So when you attempt past questions, the more times you attempt past questions, the more you are conversant with the kinds of questions a particular lecturer set. So when you do a lot of past questions and you have your senior colleagues that would review the answers, or probably if your lecturers are approachable, you can meet your lecturers and say, please review these answers for me. What should I correct, what should I not correct? If your lecturers are approachable and you approach them and they agree to review, it is a very, 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 very sweet situation you have, because the lecturer that is setting the question for you and probably the one that will be marking your answers, he is the one reviewing what you have done, and he will review it with the brain of him marking a script. And so when he corrects you, you take the correction very seriously. If you are in a public university, for example, and your lecturers are not approachable, of course, public university lecturers, they feel like gods. So the ones that are approachable are probably the private university lecturers. So if you are in the public university and your lecturers, you are not approachable, you have your senior colleagues that that are very brainy, you can go to them. Of course, people that are in first class, you would know them, your senior colleagues. So how they wrote their own and they got an A, that is how they will still review your past question answers for you to also get an A. So practicing past questions is extremely important. Don't just only read, practice the past questions. Don't just only read, practice past questions. Yes, and pray. God is the greatest. Yes, depending on your religion. Of course, I believe there is only one Chukwu Okike Abiam. There is only one Chukwu. Some people might not believe that. So whatever you're praying to, pray to that thing or that person or that or anything you're praying to, pray, because grace differs. And if you want to use only your human powers or human strength to do this law, you might faint on the way. So you also need some spiritual backup. So for my Christian brothers and Christian sisters, you pray to God through Jesus Christ. Because to my Muslim, in fact, Muslims pray a lot. So me telling you to pray is like me telling you to breathe. Yeah. So that is just it. Law is very, very sweet, but it depends on whether you want it to be sweet or not. Thank you very much.